inside that facility.
And they're MS-13 members, they're child, they're bringing into this country.
They are still human beings.
So you don't care if they're the worst criminal in the world and they have children, they're okay and they're still human beings and they should be here?
I believe that they are human beings and that they deserve dignity just as everybody else.
You think child deserve dignity?
Absolutely, I do.
What?
Move, you dumb! You don't think we know the earth is something?
Go to jail. You got to get people doing you like this.
Go to the White House. Go to the White House.
You're done. This is not going to work.
It is an emergency. I gotta feed my kids. My husband on the truck. Move. Get out the way.
We're just trying to stop.
Excuse me, you can't do that. Excuse me. You can't do that.
You want to take
Call the police.
A few moments later.
lock his ass up. You're going to jail. You're going to jail.
Tops made of oil, condescenders.
Like, we're trying to get to work and you guys are in our way. How are you guys dismissed the protest? This is not Like, please, we're just trying to go to work. I have a whole kid. Like, I need to go.
How would you define being woke?
God. Intensely annoying. There's forms of political correctness that I find utterly stifling. It cuts out the possibility for dialogue. This whole idea of a cancel culture terrifies me.
How you doing, guys? No. Do you want to tell us why you're here? No. Can you tell us why you're still wearing a mask? Is that for COVID or to protect your identity?
You do not choke me.
Look at her. So she's the victim now. She's the victim. Look at the victim. She's the victim. They're consolidating the victim. It's no surprise.
Your U.S. women's soccer team famously lost to high school boys. You really think it's fair for these same boys to be competing in girls' sports?
The journalist referenced the embarrassing 2017 defeat where an under-15 boys squad beat Rapinoe and the U.S. women's national soccer team 5-2.
Why should trans people compete against young girls? Do you not think that they're gonna get hurt? Are they gonna get hurt?
The retired soccer star is known for supporting biological men competing against women.
The most urgent LGBTQAI+ issue is the attack on trans people.
I'm not going to deny trans people as women.
Can womanhood then just be appropriated? Someone can then say, I am what you are. So Dylan Mulvaney, who's a biological man who thinks he's a preteen woman, is he a woman?
I feel like I'm just not in the position to tell him he's not a woman. If he says, if they say that they are a woman, I have no, you know what I mean?
She's so terrified of offending the delusional mob that she's willing to abandon objective reality itself. This is what happens when you raise a generation of people who value feelings over facts, who prioritize social acceptance over truth. She knows damn well that Dylan is a man. Every cell in her body knows it. Her eyes know it, her brain knows it, but she's been so thoroughly brainwashed by woke ideology that she's willing to participate in mass delusion rather than risk being called a bigot. This woman represents millions. They'd rather live in a fantasy world where men can become women by declaring it, where reality is negotiable, where basic biology is optional. She's not being compassionate, she's being complicit in the systematic destruction of objective truth. Every time someone like her validates these delusions, she makes society a little more insane and a lot more dangerous for everyone, especially children.
I'm not going to be like, are you a woman? Are you a man? That's nothing to do with me, honestly.
Got it. So if I'm 30, if I said I was 12, would you acknowledge that?
Yes. I would. It's kind of like a mental illness. Like, you know how someone could be 30 and they could truly believe they're 12. Like, those people really exist. It's a mental illness.
Great point. So if somebody, you're in healthcare, came to you and they said, I'm anorexic, so I think I'm fat, and they said, I want liposuction, should you give them that surgery?
Of course not, because that would be compromising their actual health.
Hold on. But you just said that we have to affirm somebody's mental illness. They want liposuction. Why shouldn't they get it? Wouldn't it make more sense to treat the person and say, you're not what you think you are, rather than affirming the lie that they think there's something else?
I believe that he's gay.
That's how he identifies.
How do you identify?
Actually, I identify as...
Oh, here we go. It's that long plethora of, oh my God.
Wait for it.
I will. Let me get a chair.
This senator just destroyed this woke woman with simple facts.
Can men get pregnant?
Mr. Chairman, yes.
Define what a woman is.
Relevance, point of order. Thank you very much.
It is relevant and point of order not recognized. I would like you to answer that because you are speaking on behalf of a bill that involves pregnant women, and I would like to get your take on that.
I'm speaking in opposition to a bill related to the domestic violence against people who are pregnant.
Against a woman who is pregnant. That's in the bill, not people, woman. So I would like you to explain in your definition what a woman is.
There are people who identify as different genders who are capable of getting pregnant. I am not going to feed more into the bigotry of that question.
Just a few short years ago, we knew what a woman was. We knew men could not get pregnant. I still believe they cannot get pregnant. I was called a bigot this morning because of that philosophy. We have to keep telling the truth that God created a male and female, and real men protect real women.
Are men and women equal? Actually, women are better than men. What do men bring to the world? Literally nothing. Women, the vibes, just everything.
This woman just claimed that men contribute nothing to the world while sitting in a building designed, constructed, and maintained by men, using technology invented and perfected by men, protected by laws written and enforced by men, in a civilization built entirely by male labor and ingenuity. The delusion is so complete it's almost impressive. Every single thing these ungrateful women depend on for survival was created by men. The electricity powering her phone, the infrastructure delivering her water, the food production systems keeping her fed, the medical innovations keeping her alive, the transportation networks she uses, the security forces protecting her from chaos, all built, maintained, and operated primarily by men. But in her twisted feminist worldview, men contribute literally nothing. This is the end result of decades of feminist propaganda telling women they're strong and independent while men are useless. She's so disconnected from reality that she genuinely believes she could survive without male contribution to society. She's living in a fantasy where women's vibes are more valuable than the entire infrastructure of civilization. This level of delusion would be hilarious if it weren't so dangerous.
Everything you know and love. If you look around the entire infrastructure of our nation, our economy, every building you walk into, the way that you are portraying your ideas and opinions is through technology and infrastructure and an economy and a nation that was not only built but is still maintained to this day by men.
You know what the leading cause of death for pregnant people is?
Pregnant people? Mm-hmm. Mothers?
If you'd like to call them mothers, not all of them are mothers.
What are they if they're not mothers?
They're pregnant people.
What? What people other than mothers are pregnant?
It's interesting because you come into this conversation, trying to hold this moral superiority. But when I use inclusive language, which it only takes a couple extra syllables to use inclusive language, and it seems to include people who don't, identify as women but can become pregnant.
And in order to be a moral person, I need to accept the idea that a man can really become a woman.
You are trying to deny someone of their identity and deny what their life experience is, and that doesn't seem like a moral stance to me.
I identify as being correct and more correct than you on this issue, and I would just ask that you accept and affirm my identity. Do you?
You are not a medical professional, and abortion and pregnancy is a medical concern. That's not your identity.
I promise you that's my identity.
Should trans women be included in feminist conversations? How about in women's spaces?
Yes, they're women. What's the question? Trans women are women.
Hell no to the no.
So I want to come at this from the position of an athlete. So I play semi-pro basketball, semi-pro volleyball. So when it comes to athletic spaces, I don't think that trans women should be allowed into athletic spaces. Again, we work very hard for the little opportunity there is in the space because we're not as entertaining as the men. Sorry, we're just not. And so it's like you're going to take the little opportunity that we're given. And the problem is we can't compete. We can't. I'm 6 foot. If I go up against a 6 foot guy and I play basketball with him, he's gonna body me, even if I have years more of training. And so it's like you're taking away the little opportunity that we're given and we all work so hard for, and you're just giving it back to biological guys. It's like this will be the end of women's sports.
Have you tried confidence?
Eli, hold on a minute.
Sorry,
Eli.
confidence can't make me bench what a guy benches.
Gotcha, bitch.
Travis Allen, he was a girls' soccer coach at Randolph Union Middle School in Vermont. He was just suspended from his job without pay because he complained about a male student looming around the girls' locker room. Then the school punished Travis Allen's daughter, Blake Allen, for speaking about it too. Travis, you complained about a man in the women's locker room and you were punished?
Correct. I made a social media post that referred to the male student as a male, and I was punished because I misgendered him.
Blake Allen, what did you do wrong in the eyes of the school and how were you punished?
I was in the locker room and the trans student walked in. The rest of the team was in there. I was really uncomfortable and I left, and I told the school and they just shut me down and said there's nothing they could do, and I was later suspended.
How old were you when this happened?
I'm 14, I'm a freshman.
And when you complained about a dude in the girls' locker room, you got suspended?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Nicole, and my pronouns are she, they, z.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
And I am gender fluid.
But of course you are.
But I'm the type of gender fluid who never goes fully into man.
Everybody knows you never go full.
Man. Maybe I'll go fully into woman, but I'll never go fully into man. But I will go into mask.
What?
So when I'm feeling, feminine, my pronouns are she, her. When I'm feeling a little less feminine, but still feminine, it's going to be she, they. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, I am Caesar.
That's not a real thing.
That is because to me, personally, and this isn't kosher, this isn't orthodox, I personally view them to be somewhat masculine, like he, him, except you put a little Z, because, it's a little different. So you say he's over there, just say Z's over there. So as I wake up on this lazy Sunday afternoon, my pronouns today are Zzer.
Yo, killing me with this.
We have a new superstar, the Canada midfielder Quinn, the first transgender, non-binary footballer to play in the Women's World Cup. Hang on a second, hang on. Is she a but is she, they, whatever, is she a biological male? No, it turned out she's a biological female.
Not she, so.
So what is she? She is a transgender non-binary. What is that? How can you be transgender and non-binary?
Because that's what they are.
That's why I get my head around this. If you're no longer identifying as a woman, what are you doing playing in the Women's World Cup? She doesn't qualify. They don't qualify, even though there's only one of them. They don't qualify for the Women's World Cup because they used to be a woman, but now they don't want to be a woman. So now we have to call them they for being a transgender, even though they're non-binary, and they're still playing in the Women's World Cup, and we're all supposed to go, well done, Quinn, what a moment! What a moment! But no one's quite sure what we're celebrating.
Total free world. We're advocates of not mistreating little children to death. That's the position that we oppose, the F them kids position. Third time I've heard it today. What's that? F them kids? We do think that that's what it's about. We think that the reason people like yourself like abortion is because you hate kids. And because you hate God who created those kids and made them in his image.
I think murder's pretty cool.
Murder's cool?
Gender dysphoria of the type that you described is relatively rare, but if you leave kids alone till they're 19 or 18, 80 to 90% of them settle into their biological identity, although about 80% of them are also homosexual in their orientation. The pathway for him, before this was all politicized, was you'd have a child who was gender non-conforming temperamentally, somewhat like you were. You didn't have a pattern of female interests, and then prone to depression and anxiety, and then that combination would produce this gender dysphoria, and that would become quite intense around the dawn of puberty. But if you just backed the hell off and waited, those kids would settle into their body, but generally adopt a homosexual orientation. Gender dysphoria of the type that you described is relatively rare, but if you leave kids alone till they're 19 or 18, 80 to 90% of them settle into their biological identity, although about 80% of them are also homosexual in their orientation. The pathway for him, before this was all politicized, was you'd have a child who was gender non-conforming temperamentally, somewhat like you were. You didn't have a pattern of female interests, and then prone to depression and anxiety, and then that combination would produce this gender dysphoria, and that would become quite intense around the dawn of puberty. But if you just backed the hell off and waited, those kids would settle into their body, but generally adopt a homosexual orientation.
About the schools, our kids, they sleep 8 hours, right? They wake up morning, they go to the school, they spend there like 8-9 hours, and we don't know with who they spend time. Maybe these teachers, you don't even know what they're thinking, what they have on their mind, and you let them to give education to your kids. It's very dangerous. If you not agree with these teachers on your life position, but you let them teach your kids, and when they become 16, you want they become like you. This is don't work. You have to control who teach your kids, and a lot of people miss this. A lot of crazy people, they're working in school too, and they give education to your kids, but if you talk one-on-one with them, you're not gonna spend with them even 5 minutes, but they spend with your kids 8 hours every day. It's like very dangerous thing. Yeah. You have to control this.
Hey man, had to park in a conspicuous area. Hey man, you gotta always go what you believe in, man. Follow your beliefs. Finna run into this whole crowd. I didn't see not one of them with me. You know, I'm suited and booted. Ready for action, ready for war. Let's do it. I think we this way with it. All right, man. Some people are called, man, and they just run away from the calling. Some people embrace it. What type of person are you, man? I'm with it. Let's go. Y'all see it, y'all see me. Fuck it, let's start it, man. Let's go, man. Hey, let's go into the midst of it. Let's do it. Here it starts.
What you want to do? What you want to do? What's up? What's up? What you want to do? What you want to do? What's up? What you want to do? Dyke ass bitch, get the fuck up out of here. Shit. I got it on me, bitch. I got it on me. Y'all motherfuckers better back the fuck up. Exactly. Exactly. See where the peace at? Hey, it don't look like peace. 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 It don't.
What you just witnessed is the complete collapse of Western civilization's capacity for rational thought, and it's been orchestrated by the most destructive ideological virus ever conceived, woke progressivism. This isn't just politics or cultural disagreement, this is the systematic destruction of objective reality itself, carried out by useful idiots who think they're fighting for justice while they're actually enabling the most dangerous form of collective mental illness in human history. Let's be brutally clear about what's happening here. These people aren't confused, they're not well-meaning but misguided, they're not fighting for equality or human rights. They are active participants in the destruction of truth, logic, biology, and basic human sanity. They've been so thoroughly brainwashed by leftist ideology that they've lost the ability to distinguish between reality and fantasy, between male and female, between adult and child, between sanity and delusion. When grown men can force their way into women's locker rooms and anyone who objects gets suspended, when biological males can steal scholarships and opportunities from women while everyone applauds, when children can be sterilized and mutilated in the name of gender affirmation, we're not looking at progress, we're looking at civilizational death. These woke lunatics have weaponized compassion against common sense, turned empathy into a tool of oppression, and used the natural human desire to be kind and inclusive as a weapon to destroy everything that makes society functional. They've convinced weak-minded people that questioning obvious lies is bigotry, that stating biological facts is violence, that protecting women and children is oppression. This is what feminism has wrought. Women so thoroughly demoralized that they can't even defend their own biological reality. The pronoun nonsense isn't about respect or inclusion, it's about control. Every time you force someone to use made-up pronouns, you're making them participate in a lie. You're breaking down their connection to objective reality and replacing it with compliance to arbitrary authority. It's the same psychological technique used by totalitarian regimes throughout history. Force people to say things they know aren't true until they lose the ability to distinguish between truth and propaganda. The end goal isn't equality or acceptance, it's the complete destruction of the nuclear family, traditional gender roles, biological reality, and ultimately human civilization itself. These people won't stop until they've turned every institution into a vehicle for their ideology, until they've corrupted every child with their propaganda, until they've destroyed every person who refuses to participate in their collective delusion. But here's the thing they don't realize, reality doesn't care about their feelings. Biology doesn't negotiate with ideology. Truth doesn't bend to political pressure. And increasingly, normal people are waking up to what's being done to them and their children. The backlash is coming, and it's going to be brutal, because people will only tolerate so much insanity before they start fighting back. These woke lunatics think they're winning because they've captured institutions and silenced opposition through social pressure. But they're actually creating the conditions for their own destruction by pushing normal people past their breaking point. When parents realize their children are being groomed by schools, when women realize their rights are being stolen by men in dresses, When athletes realize their opportunities are being given to biological males, the tolerance is going to evaporate very quickly. The question isn't whether this madness will end. It will, because it's unsustainable and destructive. The question is how much damage it will do to innocent people, especially children, before reality finally reasserts itself.